What up, everybody? Zedas Zulu back at it again with another review for you. And today we're looking at the Mini-pla Dragonzord, or Dragon Caesar if you're a Sentai fan. Now, this guy was a pretty fun build, pretty simple, definitely well, tough call to say which was more difficult, this guy or the Megazord. Megazord definitely had more to do, but this guy was still a pretty fun solo build. And you get a pretty good looking result out of it. Sticker wise, definitely a lot less annoying stickers, I would say. Like, I haven't had any stickers really peeling really bad, or stickers that like start to rub off from their details and whatnot. And sticker wise, these stickers on the arms, like these bits on the arms are stickers, on the headband, the gold bit right there, the bits on the chest there. Both these bits are stickers. Around the waist is a sticker, and the bottom of the feet are stickers. So not super bad. If you really want the max detail out of these, I definitely recommend when you put them on, you get like a Q-tip and then just go over it to get the details from the sticker onto the plastic, because all the detail is there on the plastic as well. So that was kind of something I was kind of nitpicky about when putting mine together, but do as you will. And for just a little Dragonzord guy, he has some alright posability. His arms can go up and down, the wrist can move up and down. Nothing in the head or waist, really. I mean, his head fin can go up and down. That's about it. Oh, his face kind of fell out there. That is one thing. He does have kind of a face swap gimmick to kind of achieve the looks of his different forms, but it's alright. The legs can go forward, back, in and out a little bit on ball joints. They have a nice knee bend, about 90 degrees, ball jointed ankles, and then his tail is just all nice ball jointed segments that are pretty good at holding poses when you put him in there. So he's a pretty good little standalone guy. But you don't get a Dragonzord without wanting to combine it with the Megazord. And first we'll just show it off with the Megazord. So let's get him staying as tall as possible. And then here it is with the Mini-pla Megazord. He definitely is shorter than it, which in the shows they make him look about even size, even equal. But you know, in figures and whatnot, it's hard to keep that kind of scale consistent, especially when they have to transform and do stuff. So the first thing we'll show off doing is the Dragonzord fighter mode. And I don't have the Japanese translation for that because I didn't watch Zyuranger. But essentially, to get there, first you're going to pull off the tail, and you're going to split them open and take out this chest piece. Then close it back together. And a word of warning, things do have to get really close together. And actually, first we'll fold up and pull these off. Yeah, they don't swing over like the DX toy. But if you can see in there, there is a stress mark, and that's from putting it together, not multiple transformations. When you do build this, I would shave off a little bit of plastic inside that bit, because I did it on this side, and as you can see, there's no stress marks, just an up mark. So that's just a word to the wise. Now, you clip these together, and I like to just slide it in there. It's a lot better than forcing it. So now, actually before that, you pull that dragon face piece off. Oops, fell underneath the table, give me a second. Alright, back, and then you bring in this new face, which is for the fighter mode, and you just slide that in. Actually, we'll take it out, we'll split it apart real quick, put it in like that, and then you slide it in, because there are pegs in there that need to get clipped into to make this more solid. Bring the foot down, flip up this panel, and then flip the foot in, and just rest the panel on the foot. Do the same thing for the other side. Open up, scoot back, and then just rest it there. And then you flip out these pegs. They're very tight once you first attach them, but the more you do it, the more they'll loosen up. Like this one's still a bit tight to get out. But you just get your finger in there, in that groove, and then just keep pulling at it. It's not going to damage anything or anything like that. And then you flip this bit up, and then attach the chest piece. And now the Dragonzord is basically done. So I'm going to set him off to the side, and to complete this mode, you need 3 Zords from the Megazord. You need the Mastodon, and you need the Sabertooth and the Triceratops. So we're just going to pull these guys off. Pull off the Pterodactyl. Now you can either leave the cannons of the Pterodactyl on, or you can take them off. I typically take them off just because it wouldn't make sense for the Pterodactyl to fly around without its kind of cannon feet or whatever. So I'll take those off. Now you basically attach them the same way you did to the Megazord. So the legs, just peg into these holes at the bottom of the leg of the Dragonzord. And same for the other side. Now he's standing, and then come around to the back. Now you're going to basically slide it up in there, and then the pegs in here, like which peg connect to the back of the Tyrannosaurus, going to connect here and here, and these holes here will connect over to these pegs. So just slide it in, push it in, and then just sandwich it together. And for a little bit more security, just flip this down and peg it into the back. Voila! You now have Dragonzord Fighter Mode, which looks really cool. Definitely a good combination. Now, for his weapon, you basically take the Dragonzord's tail and collapse it down, and then you take the chest piece, take the chest piece, open it up, pull out this little handle piece, and you connect this to the inside right here. And then you just plug the tail into the top, simple ball joint hole connection, and you bring in this stand piece, which looks good from one side, hollow from the other. And then just plug that in, and voila, you have his spear. Now, the actual instructions that came with tells you to take off 2 segments and attach it, so it's a bit smaller. I'm okay with that, but I do like the bigger one. Articulation wise, we'll go over that first before we attach the spear. Nothing in the head. The arms, same as the Megazord, regular Mastodon arms, go in and out, bend at the elbow, rotate at the wrist, rotate at the bicep, you know, the typical stuff. Now legs at work is where it gets a little bit less than the Megazord. They can rotate a little bit, not as much as the Dragonzord could originally, just because of how everything works in here. They can go back only a little bit still. They can still go out, and you still have the knees from the Sabertooth and the Triceratops, and you still get the rotation there, but because you can't get that forward movement like you would really need, your posing options are limited. Also the ankles, you can use those if you want to. Nothing says you have to. So, well, it is supposed to be a fighter mode. It's hard to get him in any really good fighting poses, because his head also doesn't rotate or anything like that, so that's about as good as you can really get it. Now the spear, on the other hand, just simple peg into the hole kind of connection, square peg like the Mastodon head was, and sometimes it's hard to get in there for me just because the wrist will rotate on you instead. But now he has his dragon spear, which is what I believe it was called in the show. I don't really remember that well, but if you use the posability right, rotate the arm, rotate the hand, you can get it to look like he's dual wielding it and about to stab something. So that's pretty good. Actually, yeah, we'll do it like that. And now it's just gonna stab. So that's Dragonzord Fighter Mode. And if that's all this set could do, I'd be fine with that. That's really cool, but there's one other combination that was in the show that this can still replicate. And to do that, we're going to get the Megazord back in its full configuration. Keep the Dragon Spear, set that off to the side for now. So just unattach everything. Pull it off. And then we'll just set this down to the side and reattach all this to the Megazord real quick. So, actually I should do this on camera. My bad. Don't want you guys to just have nothing to see. No. Come on, pet. Don't do this to me. We're on camera. We're live, Dag Flabbit. No, we're not live. So then we take T-Rex, or the Mastodon, reattach it to the T-Rex. Reattach that. Pull that back up. Put the chest piece back on. And now we put the cannons back on the back. That's right, one of them fell. My bad. And alright. So now we have the Megazord ready. What you do, fold the shoulders down and move the horns back. And the Megazord is now fully prepped. The Dragonzord's prep, essentially, you're going to start going back to Dragonzord mode. So take the chest piece off, pull it apart, remove the fighter mode faceplate, and put back the regular faceplate. Now, from here, you're just going to fold this bit down and fold this side down as well. We'll flip up the horn. Also make sure the face doesn't fall out, which it did anyways. That's the only bad part about this kind of parts forming transformation that this has. The face isn't super secure in there because it knows it needs to come out. So now you'll separate the chest piece again and reattach them to the appropriate sides. Just flip the pegs up and reattach it. Reattach it. Alright, and now the Dragonzord is essentially going to be a headpiece for the Megazord. So what you do is unhook the back, unhook the tail from the back, and just slide it on top. And now go around to the back and essentially peg the Dragonzord's tab back into the back of the Mastodon. It's going to be a little bit hard to do if you need to get exact, but there we go, we got it. Make sure the Dragonzord's head is still in there firmly, and then you can essentially replace the T-Rex's tail back into the holes on the back of the Dragonzord peg, if you're good. Alright. So now, we essentially have the Ultrazord, basically. And articulation-wise, the arms get hindered, you get no elbow joint anymore, you still get the bicep rotation, you still get the hand rotation. Legs are unhindered and fine, but, you know, also this piece came off. Man, just a lot of mishaps while on camera. But, what are you going to do? Alright. Place the chest piece on there. Now, there's one other set of things you can do with this, essentially arming it. You can either kind of give it the spear, which is what I sometimes do with my Legacy version, since it can't actually replicate what you're supposed to do. Hold on. Get the spear back in the fist, and that looks pretty cool. Or what it actually does in the show is you take off the tail and you essentially attach them to the bottom of the underside where you would attach the saber tooth and the Triceratops. So the spear goes on this side, or the tail I mean. Pull this off. You can essentially put this back in here Get it nice in. It essentially goes in like an L, so be sure to remember that when putting this away if it wants to go in there. And then you extend this piece out and then flip it up, flip it upside down, and now you peg this piece into here, and because you extended it, you now have the clearance over the Dragonzord's foot. So voila, here's what I would like to call the Pen Ultimate, or Pen Ultrazord maybe. Like, there's still one more thing to complete the OG MMPR Season 1 Ultrazord, but this still looks really cool. This is probably how I'm going to display it on my shelf with my Legacy figures and whatnot. Just get a nice, good 360 view. As you can tell, the stickers here came off on my Sabertooth, but they were trash anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so this is Zedas Zulu in the Ultrazord, signing out. Deuces.